Well, good Tuesday morning, Living Water Church, and hopefully you had a blessed day hanging out with your moms and on the beautiful day we have been given. I mean, just been so beautiful. The weather has been excellent the last couple days, and just being able to be outside and enjoy God's creation. And yesterday was actually Janice's birthday, and we got to go and we went on a walk down by the Shokin Reservoir, and we're just walking along. It is beautiful out. The sun is shining. There's water there that just looks so beautiful, and just being there, enjoying God's creation is such a wonderful thing because we start to see the great beauty that He has in this world. And we know this world is not perfect. We know this world is broken. We know this world is full of pain. But as I was walking there and just getting really a glimpse of that perfection that He has even here in this broken world, it just stirs up a joy within me of what heaven's going to be like. And if we're really, really honest, and if you guys took all of 10 seconds and stopped and start to really contemplate eternity in your brains, there's actually a psychological thing that happens when you start to think on infinity, when you start to think on eternity, when you start to think on the things of what it's going to be like in heaven. Naturally your brain shies away from it because it's too scary to think about. It's too intense to think about. But even in that, as a Christian, you start to realize, yes, but I have peace in the Lord. I have peace in eternity because I know that I'm going to be in heaven. I'm going to be what God has promised for me to be, and that's be a glorified being, not because of what I've done, but because of what He's done. And it does bring peace and comfort. But if you spend 10 seconds as a non-believer contemplating eternity, contemplating the things of the Lord, it just brings such crushing destruction to your mind, where you shy away from it and you just go back to filling up your mind with the things of this world, the things of the day. And what happens, guys, is we don't even realize this is happening, is as you grow in the Lord, you start to be able to dwell more on eternity. You start to develop a really intense eternal mindset to where the things of this world become more and more temporal, more and more temporary. And yes, it doesn't mean that the world does not weigh down upon you and things get heavy and things get burdensome. And you might have a bad week or a bad couple days, but overall, always you're reverting back to the eternal mindset, to really what this world is about. And this world is pushing on towards eternity, pushing on towards glory, pushing on towards immortality. And what a joy that we are on the side of what Christ has given to us in that we have such peace and joy in knowing that we will spend eternity glorified on a perfected earth, all in new creation. It's just so joyful to think about. But we have to keep a mixture going on in our minds of eternal mindset, but also a temporal earthly calling that God has placed into our lives. And that's why we talked on Mother's Day about this great calling that has been placed upon moms, a great calling that they have, that God has brought them into in the teaching and training of children. And I couldn't help but thinking of this analogy. And while I know I didn't get to do it yesterday in church, if you take something like this, and this is, guys, an exact representation of what your children look like, right? Look at this beautiful drawing here. But if you take them and then just picture this, that you're filling them up with the things of the world, or allowing the world to fill them up with garbage and junk and nonsense, and all of that is empty and hollow. There's really no substance within the things of this world. There's nothing that it has weight to it. There's nothing that has substance. There's nothing that has purpose to it. And this is what we allow when we allow the world to teach our children. And that's why moms have been given such a high task in this world, because this is what the world would have for your child, to be filled up with nothing substance. And when they're launched out into the world, you can see very clearly when they're launched out, they go nowhere. They fall quickly. If I threw this bag as hard as I could, which I'm not going to do at this camera, but if I threw this, I would make this bag an eighth of a way across this room, most likely. It would not go very far because it's empty, it's hollow, there's no substance. It just falls flat when there's pressure. In fact, if I squeeze this bag too hard, it's going to pop and all the air is going to come out. Now what, as far as this bag goes, is within this. When there's pressure upon this bag, there's no substance inside to push back against it. But what if I took this bag and I filled it up with rocks? I filled it up with stones. I laid a foundation. What if I took this bag and I filled it up with concrete? How far could I throw it? And what would happen when I pressed against this bag? There would be no chance of it popping. Now, would there still be pressure on the outside? Absolutely. But if this bag was filled up with concrete, with substance, with things that have purpose, and one, it would be launched far when it's thrown, and two, the pressures that would be externally would not affect this bag as much. So, guys, there's no difference in our kids, and it's why we need to keep our moms in prayer. It's why we need to keep husbands, we need to keep our wives steeped in the word, and that's really the calling God has placed on a husband's life, is to grow and train his family. But oftentimes it's to grow and support and train and love properly your wife as she teaches your children. And what the world has done is they flipped this full circle. Well, the kids are coming into the home and they're complaining and bugging the mom, and the mom is surrendering to the kids. And then because of that, the mom's pressure is so extensive that she goes to the husband and she's complaining and grumbling to the husband. And what happens is then a negative downward shift where the husband is giving in to the wife and the wife is giving in to the children, and it's causing destruction within the home. And really that all stems from us, from guys that are not doing what they've been called to do, which is to stand as the spiritual leaders of our home, and to not submit even when it's easy, to not give in just because it's difficult, that we should be teaching our wives and teaching our kids the things of the Lord, growing them and steeping them in the word, that we could pass on to our wives and our kids, and then through our wives to our kids, the things of this world, that they would grow and be filled with substance, that they would grow and be filled with knowledge, that they would grow and be filled with wisdom. And then as they're launched out into the world, they'll go far, they'll do great things for the Lord, but also the pressures of this world are not going to destroy them. So this is the great and high calling, the great and high task that is before moms, and that's why we thank and honor moms for all that they do, and we need to keep them in prayer and keep them supported in the task at hand. And that's why it's so prevalent, and it's so cool. Many of you, I haven't even texted all of you back yet, many of you said, I had the verse down and you didn't ask for the verse on Sunday, and I love to hear that. I loved getting all those text messages that you guys were ready and eager for the memorization verse that we have, and that is in, I was giving you guys a chance to do it. That's in Ezekiel 36:26. I hope that went through your brains and you know exactly what it is. And it says, and I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. And really that's the key starting point for all growth in the Lord, for any substance to form. And it's not just all vacant and hollow and air, is we need to have a new heart and a new spirit within us, and in that we start to grow in the things of the Lord, and we're on a path of sanctification. That's the new trajectory of our lives. And it's not a trajectory that we're starting off with perfection, but it's a trajectory of purpose. It's a purposeful path that we are on in growing in the things of the Lord. So moms, again, we just thank you for all that you do, all the training that you have offered to us as children, and husbands. This is a charge and calling to lead your families and your homes well, to teach and train, to love the way that Christ has loved the church, to honor the Lord in your heart above all, and to give unto your wife and your kids the things of the Lord, to the extent God has called you into, dying to self, surrendering to self daily. So that's the charge, guys, for the church this day. And that's the beauty that we have, to watch a spiritual family rise up and raise up in the Lord, and then watch their kids be launched out into the world to do a great work for the Lord. So that's the temporal mode of what we are looking forward to in eternity, where we are one day standing in glory with God for all time. And he will look upon us and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So thank you guys for all that you do. And what we have coming up in the church right now is a couple events. So to start off, I'll say thank you guys so much for all of you that came out to the apologetics class. If I know some of you have been looking, asking about the questions that I asked, because you want to get going on that homework. So be looking in the Slack channel today. By this evening, I will have some resources posted in the Slack channel, as well as the questions I asked on this past Friday night in the apologetics class, and what we're going to be looking to push forward to into the future of that class. It's the last Friday of every month at 6:30 p.m. here at the church. If you missed the first one, come out and attend the next one. We're going to do a recap of what we talked about last month, as well as move on to some new material. If you think this is just too fast, there's just too much information, it's too rapid, I can't comprehend it, there's multiple options here. One, There's some resources I'm going to list in that apologetics thing. Read through them, pour through them, try to ask the Lord to teach you through these things what He has for you. The second thing I would ask is grab somebody else who you think is at the next level, so that somebody else who you think has comprehension of these things, and get them to disciple you one-on-one in these things. How important apologetics are for our sharing of the faith. But guys, more important than that, an apologetic approach to the Bible strengthens our own faith. It builds us up. It grows us. So come out to that class. If you think it's too advanced, grab somebody to help you, to train you. Or if you're able to be diligent enough, grab some of these informational things I'm going to put out this evening. If you're not on the Apologetics Slack channel, you can join it, but just search out the Apologetics, search out the word Apologetics on Slack, and you'll see that channel come up, and you can join that channel. So that is the last Friday of every single month, 6:30 p.m. here at the church. Now, the next event we have is on the 21st of May. We have a mother-daughter's tea starting at 11 a.m. here at the church. You can RSVP to Kathy French in the description below, and that is for moms and children who are 5 years and older to come out and attend. So there's a sign-up sheet on the back table here at the church, or you can RSVP directly to Kathy French. And then the next thing, which I'm really excited about, one of my favorite things that we do here at the church, is we're going to start up Meet Me at the Park starting in June. So for the month of June, July, and August, the second and the fourth Sunday of every month, right after church, we normally hang out here in fellowship for a long time. I know generally I'm here for hours after church hanging out with people, but we're going to switch that up a little bit. For the summer, for June, July, and August, the second and fourth Sunday of every month, we're going to meet over at James Bard Park, and we're going to meet there right after church. So as soon as church is over, bring a lunch with you, bring it over there, picnic-style lunch, and we are going to hang out. We're going to eat together, and then we're just going to play. We play cornhole, and we play bocce ball, and just many other games there, just to hang out as a family, enjoy some fellowship, enjoy some fun games, and the beautiful creation God has given to us. So I hope you get that on your calendar, second and fourth Sunday of every month for June, July, and August. So if you guys need anything else, my number's in the description below. Look forward to getting back into our facts study this upcoming Sunday as we tackle culture. So you could be praying about that. It is a very intensive topic to talk about. How does the church act in our current and modern culture? How does the cultural input of the Bible that has been talked into cultures that existed 2,000, 4,000 years ago still bring relevance to us today? How does the Word of God transcend culture and time? And we're going to talk about all those things. We're going to talk about some tough topics in relation to what the world is trying to teach us and what the Bible is indeed trying to teach us this upcoming Sunday. So I look forward to being here in worship and in fellowship with you guys this upcoming Sunday as we talk about the culture and how we as Christians are called to live in a culture completely hostile towards God. So I love you guys. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you Sunday. Bye.